What was your high school scandal? Holy shit. Some kid jumped out of a second-story window and sprinted away from the school to escape a meeting with the principal. He was very heavy, so it was especially funny watching from the windows. We then watched our equally as heavy 56-year-old principal chase him down the field. She couldn't get him. Please tell me someone pulled out the Benny Hill music. When one of the teachers was videoed making out with this random girl in a car park and everyone in the school saw it, the guy's wife left him. A mom fucked a bunch of kids on the football team. Her son was on the team. Her son included? Yeah. They all had 2 broken arms. r/every fucking thread. Our principal liked a tweet showing porn. Of course someone called him out on it, and he tweeted out obviously, a hack has occurred, when it was obviously not a hack. Someone made shirts with his face and that quote on it, and sold them to the whole school. The quote is pretty funny, I must say. Not really a scandal, but when I was a junior in high school, a kid a grade above me shot a professional gay porn video, got paid a lot from what I know. I don't know if he got expelled or left school because of how much commotion it was causing, but I know he wasn't ashamed, Sol Mayo, and I don't blame him. Make that money, big dog. They can't really expel him for a side job, right? Maybe they can for a blowjob. Was this the guy in Florida who was doing it to help his mom pay bills? It made big headlines in local news and online. Wanting to change our mascot. It was already changed once. We were, still are, the Rebels. Mascot is a Confederate soldier. Used to have a Confederate flag on his hat. That got removed in the late 80s. I graduated in 97. I'm from rural Ghana and my high school mascot is the Rebel. That school is now predominantly black and still the Rebels. Pretty much just got rid of all the Confederate flags. See, they should keep the name Rebels, but replace all logos and mascots with Star Wars Rebels and Luke Skywalker and shit. We all got issued laptops by our school, and throughout the year kids' laptops were getting stolen. We had a pretty lax school, so a lot of people left their bags in the hall during lunch. People would rarely ever lock their lockers, etc. This was a European private school. Everyone was very rich and relatively mature, so no one really worried about getting their shit stolen. They finally caught the 2 seniors who were doing it, apparently to sell them to fund their drug operation or something. But the huge scandal is that they actually got to graduate and walk with an IB diploma. They ended up firing the principal, but he sued for wrongful termination or something, and so the school was legally obligated to let him be on the premises while the interim principal finished his term. So my whole junior year the old principal would just chill in the library waiting to get his job back, I guess. It was fucking weird, man. A female professor sleeping with a student. They were both fugly, but he became a hero. Nothing happened to the teacher. Our physics teacher was not in school for a few weeks. When students started asking where he was, we was told he is on sick leave. Eventually, a few months passed, and we see the headline on our local newspaper: high school teacher found with 1,000 images of child porn on computer. He certainly was sick. When the previous male gym teacher for our middle school was accused of putting cameras in the girls' locker room and grabbing girls' butts. There's two that come to mind. 1. Some kid let the trash bin on fire. Thankfully it did not do much damage, but there was a big scorch mark on the wall where it was located. 2. A school shooting scare. About a month before classes ended, someone wrote a vague message saying that they were planning to commit a school shooting at my school. Surprisingly, class wasn't called off, but we were allowed to stay home if we wished, and for half the day the school was full of police officers. Thankfully though, it never happened. My brother wrote a hit list in high school about a month after Columbine happened. Some girl in one of his classes saw him writing it or something and reported him. Didn't go over well. Happened in my school too. Only everyone added their own name to his hit list, so it was super awkward that he got in trouble for it. The police used his class ring as proof that he was a troubled kid because the insignia behind the stone was of a mushroom cloud explosion. It was his senior year of school and he almost didn't graduate because he was suspended / told to be homeschooled during the police investigation, which included an overpass raid on his parents' house that turned up nothing. Awful experience for him. Felt so bad. Probably the child molesting football coach who went to prison. followed by the wrestling coach who murdered his roommate and went to prison, and the undercover cop who bought and sold drugs resulting in 40 or so arrests of students in their senior year. A well-respected teacher that has been at my school for many years was accused of sexual harassment for no reason. A junior who is a stuck-up, entitled, rich girl wore ripped jeans to school, not against any rules or anything, but the teacher always pokes fun at students for wearing them. He says stuff such as, "Oh, could you not afford the rest of them?" Or, "Watch out, your knees are showing." But she doesn't participate in class and spends the class on her phone until he said one of those to her. She immediately took it to the principal as sexual harassment, and the teacher has been since suspended and awaiting trial by school board and possibly court. Reminds me of what happened at my old high school a few years ago. A student accused the extremely popular engineering teacher of ripping her hijab off her head and making creepy comments about her hair. It made national news. He was suspended, and the students staged a protest in support of him, sitting in halls chanting "We want him back," as well as organizing a social media campaign to combat the media/Twitter mob that was trying to demonize him. Eventually, he was reinstated after several witnesses clarified that she lied about what actually happened. He directly credits the protest with saving him. When the students know that an accusation like that is bullshit, they need to stand up for the teacher. I'm sick of people's lives being ruined over bullshit. What happened to the girl who tried to destroy his career and reputation? I think you already know the answer. Boarding school. Students rioted. Some kids rounded up 4 widely disliked prefects, locked the prefects in a dorm room, poured gasoline under the door and lit the room on fire, killing the 4 kids painfully. What the actual fuck? A janitor committed suicide in a sports equipment storage room. On my high school football team, someone pooped and smeared the word poop all over the walls of the locker room. This individual was never caught and gained the title of the notorious poop bandit. Shitler. Stalin. In my 10th grade math class, one of my friends kept asking to use the bathroom, and the teacher kept saying no. She really had to pee at this point, so she just gave up and peed in her coffee cup under her desk. She did this completely unnoticed until she accidentally tipped over the cup. One of my best days of high school. TL. Dr. A girl peed in a cup in class. A girl in my class was asking to go to the bathroom and the male teacher wasn't letting her go for whatever reason. So she went up to him and whispered something in his ear and he immediately let her leave. Everyone was a little confused, but whatever. Later she told me that she whispered to him, "If you don't let me leave, I'm gonna bleed all over my chair." There was a rumor going around that the former head teacher had been sacked for having sex with a home economics teacher in one of the home ec rooms, only to have been walked in on by a student. I was always a bit skeptical, but my English teacher did once suggest it was true. My junior year, my principal was arrested for over 60 counts of child pornography. Those 60 counts were photos and videos he would send himself from students' phones when he confiscated them. He did this for many years at 2 different schools. He also apparently would sell the photos and videos to a Russian website, and I think the FBI or whoever also found over 600 other pictures, videos, whatever on his computer as well. Literally no one saw this coming, and I remember walking into the school and everyone had the most confused look I've ever seen on hundreds of people's faces. The office was frantically answering phone calls. People were either crying, laughing, staring into the void, or wondering what was going on because they hadn't heard yet. My teachers didn't know what to do, so basically instead of having class, the entire school just speculated on what had happened. He was an awful guy when he was principal, but I felt so bad for his family. It wasn't a thing the whole school knew about or everyone in my grade even, but there was this really fucked up kid some people thought was either a psychopath / going to grow up to be a psychopath or possessed by a demon, depending on your philosophy. The weird part is he dressed normal and was an average looking guy, and if it weren't for his odd behavior you wouldn't found him peculiar in first meeting. He did and said a lot of weird shit, but one that stayed in my mind is this: just going to call him John. Teacher, did you read the book, John? John, yeah. Teacher, what was your favorite part of the book? John, the little girl getting hit by the car. Teacher, why? John, cause it was really funny. I wish she died though. If I was the writer I would kill her and turn it into a comedy and everyone who read it would laugh. The whole class was dead silent after that. I haven't kept up or heard of him for 10 years now, but since he is not a wanted criminal I say he didn't turn out that big of a fuck up. Or maybe he became a politician.